What's going on, y'all? Jeff coming at you. On this episode, can I make an Acura Integra faster than some new cars? Let's say like a Golf R. All around town, the weather's getting nicer and stuff, and these VW people are out in full force. And not to mock on any of the VW owners and stuff, but they have really quick cars. And they came that way factory. And can my 94 Acura Integra keep up with them? Absolutely not. Does it annoy me? Every single day. So the thing with the Golf R and the associated people that drive them is they're super quick cars and they have some of the fastest shifting transmissions worldwide. But they came that way. Did you guys build them? Did you guys make them that fast? Nope. Can I make them that fast? Probably not. Am I going to try? Absolutely. So the name of the game is, can I make my Acura Integra contend with all these new Golf Rs, or let's say sedan GLIs? Because let's face it, those cars, even though they look like grocery getters, they're quick. I know, I've driven one. So we're going to do this how I always do this, and that is on a crazy budget. Can I make my Integra faster than a Golf R, or at least keep up with a Golf R, for $1,000? So any good build on a budget should start with a list. I just have a title. But should start with a list. Usually a piece of cardboard and a Sharpie. So what do we need to make... My Integra is completely stock. The only thing done to the car is a set of $150 2-inch lowering springs and some EM1 SIR wheels. That's it. Nothing done to it. So we got to go over the basics. Okay. Step one, we need to boost the car. Okay. Supercharger's out of the question. Way too expensive. I've always dreamed of having a Jackson Racing supercharger, but it's just not going to work. So we have to go Terpskis. Okay. There, list. Turbo. Done? Not even close. Okay. After the turbo, we're going to need some way to install it on the engine, so via the exhaust manifold. So we're going to need the turbo manifold. And as I go through this list and acquire things and we build on this, I'm going to keep track of the prices on here and stuff, and we'll see. Let's put this on here. $1,000 or less? Question mark. We'll see. And my cat's destroying things as I'm here. Okay, so we got turbo. We got turbo manifold. Okay, we're gonna need some type of ECU, right? Nope. No, we're not. Too much money. So we're gonna need an FMU. What is an FMU? An FMU stands for Fuel Management Unit. An FMU basically is a regulator that gets bolted on your return line that goes back to your tank. And what it does is, say a car at idle has 30 psi of pressure, and that's what the stock ECU intends to run that car on and stuff. When you run a boosted application, you need more boost, or you need more fuel under boost. On a stock car and a stock ECU, there's no way of tuning that at all. There's no way of increasing that PSI. So what an FMU does is, on the return side of your fuel lines, so after your fuel regulator, after your injectors, it gets mounted on as it heads back on the return line back towards the tank. And it has a vacuum line to it that goes anywhere on your intake manifold or anywhere that's going to sense boost. And so, like, the FMU that I want to get has it's a 12-to-1 FMU. So I can't remember, for every 1 pound of boost, it sends another 12 psi of fuel or something like that. But anyways, what it does is, when the car sees boost, when the FMU sees boost, there's a diaphragm inside that, and it starts closing. And what it does is it blocks off the flow return to the gas tank. So basically, increasing the fuel pressure in your fuel rail, and essentially opening up your injectors to spray more fuel. It is the absolute cheap way. No, I'm not saying that this way is any better than like a standalone ECU or anything like that. This is just how they did it back in the late 90s, early 2000s, before tuners became a huge thing and stuff. No way will this be ever better than going to a tuning shop, getting a chipped ECU, any of that. But I like to play with my car a lot, and I don't want to always have to bring it to a tuner and stuff like that and pay a few $100s an hour and stuff for them to switch things around every time I tinker on the car. This is more old school, sort of what I'm driven towards and stuff, okay? So the FMU is going to take care of the increased fuel pressure that we're going to need, okay? Stock Integra injectors are 240 cc's with a 12-to-1 FMU. That should be enough, but we don't ever want to run lean. We can run a little rich and stuff. She may smoke a little bit. You don't ever want to run lean. Running lean melts pistons. Running too rich can wash out your cylinders, and that is also a bad thing, okay? But we don't ever want to run too lean. So in the event that the 240cc injectors aren't enough, we're going to go to the wreckers. We're going to get a set of Acura MDX 300cc injectors. That isn't that much of a big step up. My ECU should be able to compensate with that. And with the FMU and the stuff later on, I should be able to regulate a safe, reliable-ish tune, for better use of words. We'll call it a tune. It's not a tune. It's a Molinelli tune. Okay, so we got turbo. We got turbo manifold. We got a 12-to-1 FMU. We're going to look for some MDX 300cc injectors. Okay. We need a way of knowing the vitals of everything that's going on. Okay. So we need a wideband. Nope. Wideband O2 gauges. They're pretty expensive. We're going to go with a narrowband. Narrowband O2 gauge. Oh, my ring's going all wonky here. Narrowband O2 gauge. Okay. What that's going to do, that's going to tell us our AFR readings, our air fuel to ratio. Okay. Too low, lean, too high, rich. You know, we're trying to get it right in the middle and stuff so that the car is somewhat reliable, not burning through a whole bunch of fuel, and I'm not going to melt a piston and stuff. Still going to be a daily driver, but I want to go faster. I do autocross in the summer and stuff like that. So the turbo that I'm looking for too has to spool up quickly. That is the name of the game and stuff. I don't need a huge GT35 or whatever you boys and girls are running nowadays and stuff. I want a small turbo, and I want it to spool up quick. So when I'm coming out of the corners, I'm in boost already, and we're going, okay? So we got narrowband O2 gauge. We're going to need a boost gauge, which is essentially just a vacuum gauge. We're going to need, what else? I had this all in my head before I wrote all this out. Turbo, turbo manifold, FMU, injectors, narrowband gauge, boost gauge. We're going to need oil lines. Both feed for the turbo and return to the oil pan, but I'm just going to put it just as oil lines. Coolant lines, because a lot of turbos are cooled with coolant. Okay. FPR, fuel pressure regulator. Before the fuel goes into the fuel rail and the injectors, I want to be able to regulate it. I don't really know what the FMU is going to want to do when it doesn't see boost, and I just want a way of just honing everything in. So before the fuel even reaches the fuel rail, I want some type of regulator with a gauge so I can just dial it in perfectly. So we'll put FPR with gauge. Okay. That. Man, I should have wrote this stuff out before I started this video, but I thought, oh, maybe it'd be cool to write it out at the same time, and I'm drawing blanks here. So, exhaust. Okay, most people are just gonna do a hood exit, fender exit, just downpipe and stuff, and turbo loves that. The quicker the exhaust gases can get out of that thing, the more boost the things can scream, more power you're gonna make. But like I said, I do daily drive the car, even though hopefully this summer it's a bit more of a track car as well, but I am going to do a full exhaust on it, so we're going to need some type of like free-flowing muffler and stuff and some piping. Yeah, we got the O2. That. We're going to want other gauges too. We're going to want oil pressure gauge. And a coolant temp gauge. Oil pressure and coolant temp. Okay, so all your gauges, that's going to be our way of monitoring everything. The FMU and the FPR, that's going to be our way of dialing things in. Okay. An ECU, the tuner just does everything. You get a chipped ECU and stuff like that, and they bring open the laptop, you know, the old danger to manifold situation. And they do some wizardry magic and stuff that I have no clue on how to do, and they just dial everything in. They can increase fuel, you know, at red line, but sort of trim it down at idle and this and that, and they can make the car happy throughout all the ranges. We're not going to do that. We're going to set it at one thing where it doesn't kill the car, and if it idles a little rich and stuff, as long as it screams. Okay, now I'm starting to remember a whole bunch of things. Okay, ignition timing as well. We could kick it super old school, and just because when you boost a car, you also need to retard the ignition timing. You could just crack the distributor loose and dial it back a few degrees and stuff. But I think I'm actually going to go with something like an MSD, like a 6AL box. So that's a digital ignition timing box. And then also, not a turbo timer. Oh, what the heck was it called? It's like a boost timing box, basically. It goes in line with your 6AL box. The 6AL box is cool because you can put rev limiters and stuff on it. Sort of almost like a two-step. And then you have another box in line with that, and say you can retard the timing 2 degrees per every however many pounds of boost you're running and stuff like that. And it's just an easier way. You can have it either on the firewall, you can run it inside the car, and it just makes for a lot easier for just dialing in your ignition timing. So we'll just call it turbo boost ignition timing. Okay. And then we also need manual boost controller. Manual boost controller. That's a way to let excess pressure off the wastegate bleed off, and that's what's gonna make your turbo either boost more or boost less and dial it in and stuff. You know, we're not gonna be running this thing at like 10-12 PSI, especially on this type of setup, because I'm gonna kill things. I'll lean it out for sure, and we'll melt pistons. Okay, so we need a way to dial in how much boost this turbo is gonna push and stuff. There's a cool way we can actually make this ourselves for probably under $20. That will be in an upcoming video. Okay, we need an intercooler. Okay, and we need the piping to go with it. Okay, and we need a blow-off valve. There'll be like a lot of like miscellaneous things. We're gonna need like a whole bunch of wiring and stuff, and there'll be little clamps here and there and silicone adapter, like hose adapters and stuff like that, and some piping, this and that. But essentially, can I make my car faster than a Golf R? Well, I just got to do a whole bunch of this. But when you make a list like this, it's easier just to sort of pick off one thing at a time. My list, I'll start gathering things first, probably about like 80% of it. I can install things right off the bat, you know, like if I had an oil pressure gauge, I can put that on or whatever. That's just right to the motor. Don't even have to worry about the turbo and stuff. Coolant temp gauge, I can do that right off the hop. The exhaust I might do beforehand and stuff. I'm going to do a whole bunch of things before I bite the bullet on a weekend, gather up all my friends, and we start doing, because once we go under the knife and we start installing the turbo and the manifold, I have to have everything else to make sure come Monday morning I can still drive to work again and stuff. So I'll tackle off some of these small items. I'll make sure I have everything on the list. And yeah, I'm hoping by the time the streets are clean and clear and winter is definitely gone and spring is definitely underway, the Integra is a lot faster. So with our list in hand here, well, let's go shopping for some parts, eh? Okay, turbo. Boom. Easy peasy. This is a TD04 HL off of a Subaru WRX. And I picked this because it is perfectly suited for the Acura Integra. No, it's not. I got this because it needs to be rebuilt, and it was $40 on Kijiji. So right off the hop, let's go ahead and plug those numbers in here. So turbo, $40. Okay, boom. But the reason I did pick this turbo when I seen it was it is a small, quick spooling turbo. I'm not looking for huge horsepower. I'm a really good driver, and I just need a quick, responsive engine to my driving habits and stuff. My driving habits will take care of the rest for when we're trying to beat these Golf Rs out. So yeah, this is it's going to be a very quick spooling turbo, and there's some things we're going to do along the way to this turbo to ensure it's going to kick the pants of any VW out there. Stock VW. I'm not coming after you highly modified guys, like 1,000 horsepower guys. Just looking to beat down some stock GLIs, maybe with some exhaust upgrades. So we can polish the exhaust housing side. We can polish the compressor side. I am going to open this one up. It does need new compressor wheel and exhaust wheels. That's why I got it so cheap. And there is also a little bit of shaft play, but eBay has a rebuild kit for like $50. So I'm going to go ahead and bring that in. So we will quickly rebuild this turbo. Okay, so we got that. Need a way to put it on the engine. Here is the eBay special. Everybody's been running them for years. This is the eBay T3 cast iron bottom mount. They call them the log style turbo manifolds. Millions have been sold worldwide. They work. They work extremely well for the right application, right? These aren't going to breathe out 1,000 horsepower and stuff, even though I've seen them close to it. But for my goals of 300-ish wheel horsepower, I think it should be fine. So yeah, there's some things I got to fix. I got to take off this heat wrap that the previous owner had. And by the way, this was $20 because it has a broken stud right there. So we're going to pull out all 4 studs. I'm going to resurface this flange. I'm going to resurface this flange. We're going to paint this. I haven't figured out if I'm going to use this style external wastegate, or there's also a wastegate that goes off of the turbo. I've already taken it off. May just go that route for first to see what I'm playing with and stuff. Okay, so we got the turbo manifold. That's $20. Okay, there we go. What else? Okay, we need to start gathering up some gauges. Okay, Boom. Temp gauge right there. I don't even think I paid any money for this. I had, long story short, I had bought a garage clearance sale. It was, I don't know, a couple had divorced and the husband was selling off everything in his garage, and I paid $500, and I came out with like a boat and an ATV and toolboxes and this and that and like 5 totes of just miscellaneous crap. Well, that was in there. So we're going to put that where we got coolant temp, $0. Okay. Oil pressure I still have to buy. The reason why we're not going with a wideband, which is fabulous, they do everything in like a numerical, like numbers on the gauges, sort of like all your other gauges and stuff like that. They'll tell you like 12.1, 14.8 and stuff. It's easier to read, it's more accurate and stuff, but they can be $300-400 depending with shipping and the whole thing to get it installed and everything. And back when I had my Mustang, my buddy Nick gave me this, which I never used for the Mustang, but you're damn sure I'm going to use it for the Integra. We got an autometer, narrowband AFR gauge. So basically, it just shows lean, rich, and I still don't know what Stoich is. German for something awesome, or just like middle. We don't want the lights to be flashing. Lean. Rich, okay. Stoich, I think Stoich means good. I don't know. I'm going to have to read up on it. I got the whole box and everything for this. It even has a 2 or 3 wire brand new O2 sensor that comes with it and stuff. So this is going to be our way of monitoring our air to fuel ratio and stuff. This will be our biggest ticket on making sure this engine doesn't blow up. So that wasn't free. I bought that from Nick with a whole bunch of things, but I can't even remember. Like I bought a whole bunch of like gaskets off of them and stuff. I want to say that I paid $30 for that. So where is that narrowband? Okay, 30. Okay, and so basically that's all I've really acquired thus far. Over the years, I've had so many cold air intakes and stuff like that, and the fella starts, having a lot of these pipes laying around and stuff like that. They may be beneficial in this build. I don't know. Maybe they become charge pipes, or maybe this one might be too big for intercooler pipes and stuff. But keeping all these parts around over the years, hopefully that's going to help me out where any charge pipes and intercooler pipes and filters and stuff like that. So right then and there, we got some of the big things already bought and paid for and stuff. We just need to find out a whole bunch of other things and just start fabricating all this stuff. And basically, it's just going to come down to a lot of little work, a lot of tedious work, like rebuilding the turbo, fixing the exhaust manifold, bolting it up together, welding it. Oh, we also need an exhaust too, right? Sure, why not? There we go. What brand was this thing again? No Speed. German parts for beating out German cars. Why not? This is what all the VW guys ran back in the day. So there is a stainless steel polish. It looks a little dirty right now, but I think when those tips are coming out the back of the bumper of the Integra, they're going to look pretty sick. So let's put a German muffler on a Japanese car to beat out said German cars. Makes sense to me. I paid $60 for that. Where did muffler go? Did I put muffler? I must have put exhaust somewhere on this list. Exhaust. That's $60 so far for exhaust. I'm still going to have to run new piping from the muffler all the way back up front with some bends and radius and elbows and stuff like that. I do have my Princess Auto flux core welder, which will be tackling all these repairs and stuff. So, yeah, in a nutshell, can we beat out a Golf R? Only time will tell. And hopefully all these janky, crappy, dirty, rusty parts will clean up nicely. We'll hold together. We'll make some boost. We'll spin some tires and have a lot of fun doing so in the process. Thanks for tuning in today, guys. Like, share, subscribe. I am going to try to get back on the bandwagon of bringing you more content. The 56 Pontiac is still outside. The cylinder head is off. The cylinder head is soaking. Everything's cleaning up. I got my King Canada drill press to clean up all the valve trains, so don't worry. The Pontiac's not going anywhere. We're still diving into that. Hopefully this summer we fire it up for the first time in 47 years. But right now I just have a little vendetta against some VW owners, and I got to get this car up and running and boosting and going quick. Stay tuned, like, share, subscribe. Hope this video finds you well. Take care. Talk to you later. Oh.